Where I am now, better than before, through those open doors. Where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place, a tender warm embrace. Where I am now.
It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FY Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, Where I Am Now.
Where I am now.
And if you'd like to see us live in WGPL 1350 studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton's Facebook page. And guess what? You can see us live right here in WGPL 1350 studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to www.christianbroadcastingcompany.com or 1400 AM or 1350 AM, and you can hear us all over the world. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Could you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace 95.3 and WPCE 1400 AM.
Facebook Live is on and poppin'. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out.
Shout
later on
Shout out.
in the show.
Yeah.
Mr. E, is Fun Friday.
That's right. This is Fun Friday.
It's the weekend.
Just got paid.
You got anything planned?
No plans for the weekend. Just chilling, looking at the weather and see what it's going to be like.
I tell you what, if you're in the Hampton Roads area, you better have a coat. It's going to be 45 degrees here. It's a big old change from last weekend. But nevertheless, it's the day that the Lord has made, and we are thankful that He's given us another day to appreciate Him and do our best.
That's right. Good morning to Miss Treasure. Good morning to you, and you, all that's on Facebook. Good morning to you.
Hi, Treasure. Hope you're having a good day, young lady. Good to see her up here on FY Radio Show. I tell you what, we have two fabulous guests, Mr. E, not just one, two fabulous guests. We have lifestyle coach Rhonda Driver, and we have a beautiful lady that has joined her. She's a life coach as well, Miss Deborah Stansel, and we want to say good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, Deborah, this is your first time with us, and I'm going to give you the first to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to first say that to you and your co-host. I am so grateful to be here this morning. I am Deborah Stansel. I am the youngest of twins from, I always say LA, but that's Lower Alabama. I am a transplant in the local area. I retired here in 2005. I'm a retired Marine. I served 20 years and 21 days.
Hoorah!
Honorable service. Hoorah! And I decided to get off and make this my home. So I am a life coach. I am a civil service employee as well. And I'm a retired Marine. a mother of 2 adult children, and a great auntie. So that's who I am.
Wow. Coach Rhonda, share with us. Of course, a lot of people know you, but tell us again where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Coach Rhonda. I'm born and raised in Hampton, Virginia. Been here all of my life. I am a board certified master life coach as well as a master mental health coach. I also was in the Marine Corps with Coach Deb. He was my bunkie. That's how we met. And we connected 30 years later. And so I'm also a licensed minister. And I'm just, happy to be here again with you guys to share this morning.
You know, when I looked at Coach Deborah, when I looked at your Facebook page, I was pleasantly surprised that you were in the Marines. And then I looked again at Coach Rhonda, and there she was in a uniform. Thank you all for your service. And thank you all. We celebrate you. This is Women's History Month. We celebrate both of you and all that you do as ex-Marines and also as, and should I say ex-Marines?
Yeah, ex-Marines and service.
And for your service, but also as a lifestyle coach. When I hear the word lifestyle coach, I think about someone who is really, really there for someone, even though it's a service that's paid for. It gives me the impression that you are a great support system. Does it feel like that as a life coach? Either one, Deborah?
It absolutely. Okay, it absolutely does. Thank you, Coach Rhonda. It absolutely feels that we're a support system. We try to get you from where you are to where you want to be because much like God has already told us, it's in us, right?
Yes.
And we help you find what's already in you, identify that, and bring it out. We don't provide you with the answers. We don't make you do anything. We help you discover what's already in you and how that can be used to your benefit as well as your family.
Amazing. I want to talk about this topic that you all are actually extending to the public, wealthy and winning. Those 2 W's are powerful. Y'all talk about Coach Rhonda. Tell us a little bit of how this came about and why you all chose this particular topic to cover. I believe it is going to be an online webinar or seminar. But tell us why you all chose this topic, wealthy and winning.
Well, we actually came up with wealthy and winning because I had been doing some lives and I had been inviting Coach Deb on because I knew she was just so skilled in the financial piece. And so one day we were talking and we just kind of said wealthy and winning. We put it together because I'm known for winning, and she's known for helping in the finances. And we did our first workshop in December of last year, which was extremely successful. So now what we're doing is just trying to show people how to change their mindset so that they can win and be wealthy.
Absolutely. How hard or easy is it to motivate people to, get their finances in order, especially since we've gone through the pandemic? Coach Deb, what is it like trying to, get people to come up?
It is a difficult task. When you ask God to use you and He does, you don't get a choice in how easy or how hard the assignment will be. And so, talking about money is not an easy topic, but we ensure that you are in a safe place when you are in a wealthy and winning workshop. It doesn't matter if you have $20, because I've been there. It doesn't matter if you have 6 figures in your account or 7 figures in your account plus. We are here to support you, keep you in action, and have those conversations so you don't have to later have those confrontations. Something else that I do is legacy and generational wealth as well when we're talking about the wealth piece and how that affects your family. And so we talk about that as well because sometimes we forget that abundance is a promise for all of us, not for some. It is intended for you to leave an inheritance. That was God's instructions. And so why we've gotten away from that, I'm not sure. But he has tapped into both of us, and he has given us the assignment to have those conversations, to educate and empower our people to come back to what we're supposed to be doing and what they're and come back and get the promise that was put out for all of us. We all were promised um, uh, a life that was more abundant, so we can all have that.
Absolutely. Now, how much of the negative that you all have to weed through? Because people, as life coaches, people, I'm sure you know how secretive people are, and I can imagine when it comes to finances, how secretive and fearful people are to expose what they've been doing, and how things have gone with their business, their life.
I would say we're transparent. We tell our story, because I think Deb had to start over with $20. I started from nothing. We both have had challenges in our life where we've been at the bottom, and so, like she said, we do create a safe space to allow people to know that it's not too late to turn things around. You just have to change how you're thinking right now. And so that's what we do. We change the way you think to get you on the road to where you need to go.
Well, who do qualify? Good morning, and good morning. Who do qualify for this great webinar, and what do they need to expect on this webinar?
Everybody qualifies.
Wow, yes.
Male and female?
Male and female. And we're trying, maybe Mr. E, you can help us out. We're trying to bring the men up. We're trying to get the men involved. What we've noticed is we have a lot of men that will watch and on the sidelines, but they don't really engage as much. But the men are our leaders. They're the heads of the household. And so we definitely need to change their mindset. And so there deals a lot with, men who maybe have passed and they're leaving their spouse behind. And while they're taking care of them the whole time, they don't inform them of the next of what's to happen once they're gone. So she talks a lot about that.
Wow.
Yes. How do you all blend the two? Again, Coach Rhonda, you said you specialize in winning, and she is the financial guru. How did you all come together and say, "Look, I'm going to do this, you're going to do this, and we're gonna expose this to folk"? Do you feel as though people have to get their lifestyle fixed up first, or how does it work, Coach Rhonda?
It's the mindset. I stay in my lane, Coach. I don't try to get in Coach Bear's lane. And so I talk to people about how to change their mind. And once you get your mindset changed to go into a different direction, and that's when Coach Bear takes over with the knockout punch. Because
Yeah.
he has a wealth of information, in every area of finance. And so that's just how we work it. She stays in her lane, I stay in mine.
Yeah, I feel as though you all have been groomed and equipped through being Marines. I can imagine. I just can imagine that the skills that you all learned in the military as Marines works very well with what you do, because you're not tackling a very easy thing. Changing the mind of people, and also dealing with finances, and helping people to grow and understand money. What a task. I really feel like you all started off on the right track. Mr. E?
Miss Driver, when you look at it's been 3 years since the pandemic. And then there are so many folks that are dealing with finances, money. Can they really expose their business? How do you win the trust over for them that got hidden agendas when it comes, especially men that got hidden agenda when it comes to talking about that do re mi and that fa sol la, and then trying to take off with $20 as and say, oh, you can start with 20. And how do you win the confidence of a man or a woman when it comes to spending that money?
Well, again, we create the safe space. We tell our story, and we really try to share that, no one is got it all together in this area, but we can help. And Coach Deb, you can jump in. She really shows the importance of why you need to make this mindset shift.
Yes.
By you both.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
By you both being in the military, the Army or the Marine Corps, the Navy, promise all the branches of folks a lot of things. And when some come out, they broke and they don't have anything to fall back on. How do you recruit and tell those veterans, look, I got the remedy, I got the answer to help you rise?
That's a Coach question. Oh, absolutely. And because we have been where they are, we as Marines, we stood on the yellow footprints, and we have pledged as well our allegiance to this country and to our communities. We also have that kinship already. We have that brother and sister in arms connection, and we have an unspoken appreciation for what each other, where we are and what we've been through. So we start there and we build upon that. And we inform them of the benefits and entitlements that they may have left on the table. So I help in the areas, and I remind them of some things based off of the service. They forget that they can use their home loan. They forget that if they are broken, mentally or physically, that they can go back and apply for compensation and don't stop in that area. And we also remind them that we're in this together.
Yes.
And we all can rise if we put some things, because we understand a mission, right?
Yes.
As veterans, as active duty retirees, we understand a mission. And when you give them a mission, and actually it's a blueprint or a family plan or a family income plan, they understand that, and then they're able to execute from there. When you put them into the context in which they understand it, they're able to execute.
Absolutely. You have at the end of Wealthy and Winning, you have Family Edition. Tell us a little bit about that, and is it all about the family?
Well, the family edition is not. We're saying family edition because we believe that if we can change the mind of a family, because we've gotten away so much now from family, where when we were growing up, you had to come to the dinner table, you had to sit together. Yeah, we did more things as a family, but now what we're doing, we're trying to change the mindset of the family and getting people to understand how your decisions, your emotional decisions affect the family. Women, your shopping habits affect the family. Men, your hobbies, your gambling, your infidelity, those decisions can affect the family. And, as single people, you are your family. So you have to be, connected to what God says about you, because if you're not, you're in the house and your house is still divided because you're not in agreement with what God says about you and your finances.
Wow. Coach Deb, are you all going to be talking about generational wealth, passing down wealth to your children and your children's children?
We absolutely are. And, some other families have given us great examples and not so great examples. And what's in a name, my father was real big and real proud of our family name, which my maiden name is Bumpers. And coming from where I come from, it was always important in restoring that piece back into your name and what you can make of it, right? If you started off bad, it can be great. It just has to start with the decision and the mindset, restoring trust, because sometimes that's what's missing in the family. You can have a family trust, right? and you can put these resources in the trust. You can develop a legacy plan within your family. Everybody comes, you have your family meeting, and everybody comes to the table with their credit report. Everybody comes into the table being honest and open about where they are financially. We can establish the rules within the trust as far as who's going to receive help and what they have to do that. We can help each other build our credit back up. We can help each other purchase property and real estate and add it to the trust. We all can get life insurance and have the trust be the beneficiary. We can educate our children if we all start with trust.
Wow.
They can leave college with a debt-free degree. They can start a business and borrow from the family trust. These are some of the things that we're going to talk about in the workshop.
Yes.
Give our listening audience information of how they can get a hold of this great workshop that you folks are getting ready to put on.
Well, it's happening tomorrow. I'm going to ask my sister Alicia, I see her online, if she would drop that information.
And she just did, yes.
Certainly. Oh, okay, yes, she put it in there. So, and you certainly can reach out to myself or Coach Deb. It's not too late because it is going to be a Zoom meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. So if you go ahead and jump in, we'll get you registered and you can join us tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Is there a fee?
There is a fee. It would be $25. That's for your family. And you can. We wanted to offer it at a little lower than we do our in-person workshop because we really want to see the families successful. So if that's you and you want to join us tomorrow, $25 will get you in.
Wow.
Sometimes the wife go out and spy the land or the husband go out and spy the land before they bring the family in it. So how do you help the spies to, how you help the spies to encourage one another to bring their fam?
You know what? We had some spies at the December workshop, which were some men. We had a few men, but guess what? The men said my wife should have been there.
Wow.
And so,
yes.
I believe our next in-person workshop, the men are going to bring their wives.
Yeah.
And I believe that the wives are going to bring their friends and their husbands.
That is marvelous. Alicia says, good morning, everyone. It's not too late to get in on Wealthy and Winning Family Edition. And it is tomorrow at 11 a.m. You can call Coach Deb at 757. Miss E just took it away. 757-236-0418. That's 757-236-0418. I love what you were saying about the family, Coach Deb, and all the things that it takes to keep a family whole, help them to win financially. Some of the things that they have to think about in the future. A lot of times people feel like, well, I'm young. I don't need to think about life insurance. I don't need to think about college. And, my children are just 2 years old. But you're trying to get people to see that preparation and planning is key in being successful.
Absolutely. We always have come into agreement, Coach Rhonda and I, from day one, along with Leisha, and we were in agreement that we pay God. We pay yourself, because you hear yourself, pay yourself first.
Yes.
Pay your future self, which is, a plan for retirement. The decisions I made at 18 took care of the 38-year-old version of myself when I retired from the Marine Corps. And then the 38-year-old making decisions is now taking care of the 55-year-old, because I'm now for 55. And the 55-year-old decisions that I'll make will take care of me and my next generation to come, right? So you can reverse engineer it. A lot of us are in a sandwich generation. I've lost my parents, but I know some of my friends have not. So they are sandwiched between their parents who are elderly and in their golden years and what elder care looks like. We talk about that. The younger generation, because we have not emphasized it, my grandmother lived with us until she passed.
Wow.
My maternal grandmother, my paternal grandmother, my auntie and uncle kept her at home and took care of her until she passed. We didn't do nursing homes, right?
Wow.
And nursing homes come with a cost. They look back 5 years, and they will take everything that was promised to you and take it to take care of your elder if you don't have a plan in place, right? So
Yes.
some of these things we need to talk about. And the established, you have a question for me?
No, I was just listening to you.
Okay. So for some of our, with our parents, you know, we have them and then we have our children or our grandchildren, and we're sandwiched in between those generations, trying to take care of our parents and then trying to take care of our children or our grandchildren. And we definitely need a plan in place. And that's why we felt it so imperative to bring the family together and have a family edition as to how this can work and how it can be done successfully. Right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I wanted to ask Coach Rhonda what winning looks like. What is winning?
Winning to me, you know, winning is definitely not the trophy. You know, winning is an attitude. And if I can get you to change your attitude like I did one day, I was reading the scripture in 1 Corinthians 15:57. It says, "But thanks be to God who gives us the victory, making us conquerors through our Lord Jesus Christ." So I try to tell everybody, you're not coming from a place of defeat. Let's start there. You've already won. You are coming from a place of victory. So if I can shift your mindset to identify with what God says about you and get you to understand that you're already victorious. You've already won. You just now have to walk it out. And so, you know, that's what the winning piece is for me.
Absolutely. Now, Alicia says it's $25 special FYI discount. Just mention you are a viewer on FYI Radio. I like that. And you get your little discount. But I'm telling you, I encourage our audience and our viewers to really tune in. You know, coaches, I have talked to so many people who are really suffering as a result, not just as a result of the pandemic, but as a result of choices. And they really are desperate to get back on their feet financially and to really get better in life as a whole. I encourage all you all out there to take advantage of this. It's a lot of information, wonderful information that Coach Deb has and Coach Rhonda. And I want Coach Rhonda and Coach Deb to also let people know how they can see you on your shows or your podcasts. Give them information and also a contact number just in case they need to call you for your services.
Okay. If you're looking for Coach Rhonda, I can be reached at 757-944-3799. You will find me on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. Most of the time I do a live pretty much every day. You put in Coach Rhonda and you'll find me anywhere on those platforms.
And Coach Deb?
Yes, I am also on Facebook under Deborah Stansel. I'm on Instagram under Coach Deb 757. I have another contact number. It's 757-525-9599. You can catch me on Facebook Live and Instagram Live on Wealthy Wednesday. I do a segment on different topics of interest in building wealth and how that works, and debt elimination, debt reduction, credit building. So I do a segment on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. And I also do a Freedom Friday, which my audience is very competitive, so don't allow them to scare you away. We after my segment, I do a money quiz, and they're competing for a prize. So it could be a gift card, it could be cash. So my regulars are very competitive, but again, don't allow them to scare you away. Jump on in there. Jump like Jordan. This is the year of 23. So we want your mindset and your money to jump like Jordan. So come on in. Don't be afraid. Don't let them intimidate you. We'd love to have you.
We want to say thank you so much, Coach Deb and Coach Rhonda. You are blessing us. You all are a blessing. And thank you so much for the information. Have a wonderful,
Thank
wonderful
you so
day.
much for
God bless
having us.
you. Thank you. Okay, so look, you all come over here a little bit. We're going to serve a little bit of tea. And we're going to just tell you what's coming up with FYI. Have a blessed day.
Those open doors where I am.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And for more information, give us a call at 757-714-7861 or go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton Facebook page, FYI Facebook page, or you can email us at FYIRadioShowLive@gmail.com. We want to thank our special guest, Coach Deborah Stanford, and for Coach Rhonda Driver. And for more information, you can call Coach Driver at 757, Coach Deb at 757-525-9599. Don't forget to have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget that you can contact Coach Deborah at 757-236-0418. Have a good weekend. Bye now.
All right. First of all, happy Women's History Month. Thank you, Coach Deb and Coach Rhonda, for all you do. We celebrate you all because I'm telling you, you're putting in the effort to really help people rise above and also help them to get those coins together, baby, especially after the pandemic,
That's
Mr.
right.
E, with everything going sky high, interest rates going up, so much going on in our world. People need to hear how they can stay afloat, how they can keep their families safe, and how they can look forward to a bright future.
I want to say good morning to Mr. Mark Howard, Miss Michelle Jones, Monte Roster. Good morning to you, Miss Lisa Neal, Ann Myers,
Annie.
and Marshall Robbins. Thank you so much. Miss Treasure Owens, thank you so much. Roberta Carter, thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world.
Wow, Mr. E, talking about rising above, this workshop sounds like it has a whole lot of goods. People, this is the thing. You don't have to sit back and suffer in silence or shame or fear or ignorance. There are so many ways of getting yourselves together, moving forward, winning, and becoming wealthy. There's so many ways that you can take what you have, your gifts and your talents, and move forward. There's so many ways of making sure your family has what they need as they move toward the future. When we have children, we have to think about their future. We have to think about college. We have to think about, if anything would happen to us, what's going to happen? How do we provide? How do we make sure they're taken care of? What's going to happen if mama loses daddy and things like that happen, and getting into the workshop to find out how you can secure your future, how you can secure your now as much as you can is a good thing. Mr. E, when the pandemic came, it blew a whole lot of folk away, a lot of businesses, churches, everything just changed. And suddenly, people find themselves in a tizzy, in a way where it's like, we've never been here before. What do we do?
Miss Cynthia, when we began to talk about the pandemic, looked like everything shut down.
Ooh,
Looked like it did shut
yes.
down. I want to thank Mr. Monty from Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you so very, very much from Little Rock. But when it shut down, folks began to go through changes in life. They was lost. And then there was aftermath that folks now would really depend on how in the world they're going to get back up.
Oh,
Because there was a
yes.
lot of folks lost a lot of jobs and
Yes.
a lot of families, and that they got divorced, and then all of a sudden folks started having aftermath and grudges against one another.
Mhm.
So now they're trying to recoup, they're trying to get back on top of things. So now here's something that'll help you to rise above. This great workshop that you need to tap into that'll help you. You can put your money back together, because there was a lot of credit that folks could not afford for 3 years. Folks could not afford to pay their bills. Why? Because the jobs was gone. They didn't have that income coming in, and things wasn't gelling right. But now is a way to clear all your debt, learn how to have wealth, and be a winner.
And be a winner. They're talking about winning as well, having a better lifestyle, making better choices, thinking. Coach Rhonda was talking about your mindset and how you think. You can have a better way of thinking, a better perspective on life, by changing who you are on the inside. You can work on that outside anytime, but that inward person, that one on the inside that have a lot of, things that they think about, issues and problems, and, the way we kind of reason about things, those things need to be healthy as well. Wealthy, winning, having a healthy heart, mind, soul, and all these things come together and they work for good. And this is what this workshop is all about: the total man. Fine tuning the things that should be fine tuned, getting better at things that need to be gotten better. It's just wonderful to see somebody target and address things that help us rise above. Mark Howard said, congratulations. He said, to NSU, men and women playing in the semifinals of MEAC. I saw that, Mark, and I was like, wow, I thought that was fabulous. We're going to talk about that on our Monday Sports Talk. But everybody that's on, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. E, we got a little tea to serve. We're going to serve up a little bit of tea before we go. Then we're going to give you some upcoming shows. But it's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on around the 757 all over. That, first of all, the lady from Rich Neck, the teacher from Rich Neck Elementary School, where the 6-year-old boy shot the teacher, she's not going to press charges.
Is anybody surprised, though? I mean, 6 years old, they don't have yet a consciousness for have that criminal intent. That's what lawyers and doctors are saying. And so, charges, they will not have charges against this child. But we still follow the story, because not only, that situation, but all the schools have been affected in some way or another with such violence going on in our schools.
I bet, I have a little, I'm going to throw a little shade in the game. And here's the thing. If the kid was old enough to go home and pick up a gun and come out there to the school, I think he's old enough to really understand that he did something that was not right.
Well, that's what his doctors definitely are for.
But here's the kicker part of that. If you can't respect authority, before this thing ever took place, he had an altercation with the teacher, and he had a difference with the teacher. Now, why couldn't the teacher who was in school, why didn't the teacher have the authority to contact the parents and them? Because when you look at the storyline said that the teacher, the parents had to sit in the classroom several times. And since the parents had to sit in the classroom just this one day. Now, when the boy found out the parents and all of them weren't going to be there, now he decided he wanted to be grown and get the gun and go kill somebody. I really think that the young man need to have some consequences. Something needs to be done, or something needs to be said, and something need to the family or to the parents.
Well, I tell you what, they are working on that. And like I said, according to the psychiatrist and the powers that be, he has not yet developed a criminal conscious, criminal attitude that lets him know that, he was maliciously out there to get a gun and carry on. His way of thinking is not mature enough. He's not at the age of accountability at this point. But hopefully, through the doctors and things, they will teach him, you know, give him skills to help manage if it is anger. I don't know all the details or anything, but whatever it is, that he'll help manage himself, that incident won't happen again. You know, I can't imagine people feeling secure around that child, you know.
Right.
And so who knows, Mr. E, we shall see. But like Mr. E said, there will be no charges against
No
this
charges
child.
whatsoever.
And but we'll see how things work out, because there are other things that I'm sure are going to come down the pike.
You know, Ms. Hinton, while we're on that tea, Chris Rock had his Netflix debut.
Oh my goodness!
And when he had
Did
his
y'all see
Netflix
it?
debut, how do you feel about how Chris Rock expressed himself?
I feel like, hey, if you give me $40 million, I'll give y'all a few. You know, he had to say something.
That's right.
I don't think that people was going to pay all that money to have him ignore the subject matter. You know, he came at the last 10 minutes of the show and he says, look, let me address the elephant in the room. And so he did. And, you know, it's the way he feels. It's what happened. He's the one that has happened. I know that social media is in an uproar, but it's his story. It's his story. It's what he wants to tell. Now, when Will gets up there, Will will tell his story. It's what they have experienced, their perspective. And, you know, and so I felt like, hey, go ahead and tell your tea. Tell what you feel happened according to Chris Rock. And that's what he did. And he got $40 billion.
That's right.
My God,
that
for
is
doing
so
it.
True.
So it's whatever he say. I'm not going to get in a tizzy and uproar over his perspective.
You know, and I'm in agreement with you, because the thing about it is, he got the $40 million. He's $40 million
Oh
rich.
my goodness!
And my opinion doesn't matter to what I can't change it. So I'm gonna say, Chris Rock, you rock, bro.
I mean, and they said that social media is in a tizzy, and some of them feel like he had the nerve. How dare you talk about, you know, our hero, which everybody loves, Will Smith and Jada. Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. They're well loved and they're very popular. And so it's a tug of war. Oh my goodness, I love him over here. Well, I love Chris better. And it's like, look, let them figure it out. Let them do what they do. We are just bystanders. We're just looking around and looking at it. And so, hey, I'm not gonna get myself in no tizzy. I didn't get not one dime for being in a tizzy for this situation. But Mr. E, I want to get back to another serious thing. We talked about the 6-year-old, but the kidnapping and murder in Mexico is appalling.
You know, Ms. Hinton, when we talk about what happened in Mexico, you know, why did the wannabe cartels, you know, they said they are not really the cartel, they wannabe. Why did the wannabe cartel decided that they want to impose as cartelians so that they could kill folk? You know, what was the purpose behind all of that?
Well, if you all go and Google the history of Mexico and what's going on with the cartel and how families are fleeing from there, you'll probably get a better picture of how dangerous things are getting. You know, you got to be careful going over to any foreign country, you know, especially if you don't know the place. If you can't go by yourself, you got to do your research and you've got to stay in safe places.
That's right. You can't go
everywhere.
Yeah.
And so our hearts go out to those that have lost their lives and those that were in that situation. And from my understanding, the T is that the cartel really have apologized. That I don't know if I believe that. Really? I think that's some social media tea that went through. You know what I'm saying, Mr. E?
Let's go to Detroit. How about we got a few minutes. Let's go down to Detroit to the Perfecting Church in Detroit.
We got some church tea.
We got some church tea. Let's go down to the property of the Perfecting Saints Church, where you know where Pastor Marvin Wining is the pastor, and let's begin to look at why he got all that beautiful property. Got all that beautiful property and ain't did nothing with it.
Right. You know, that is kind of a shame because that's 20 years, a great, big, huge, massive structure is up, and the city is like having a fit. They're
That's right.
saying, "Wait a minute, when are you all going to finish this church?"
You know, when you look at this, they supposed to had it's supposed to have been 1,100 vehicle parking lot deck,
Say that again.
70 condos. Marvin Wine had a big news conference, and where he announced it, that he intended to build a massive church with
Ooh.
1,100 vehicle parking decker and accommodated by 70 condos. He set the price to $60 million. And as there has been no signs that Wine and Vision will be built,
Ooh.
you know, the attorneys decided that they're waiting to the end, along with the bright. Malice had sent a letter telling Wine that what he needs to clear things up, the code, the enforcement department, also inspection need to see if the church is up to code. So what he had done brought a lot of attention to himself.
This is the thing. Money's not there. Money's not there. And let me tell y'all something about the pandemic.
Money is not there.
The money's not, Mr. E, the money is not there. And since the pandemic, people have stopped giving, like they're not as generous as they can. That's the first thing to go with nonprofits and the church. You know, folks stop giving kind of. But, you know, hey, Marvin, you're going to have to get this together because the city is either going to take it, they're going to do something. They're going to make you tear it down. You may end up selling it. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if the saints are able to carry the load, Mr. E. That's a lot of money to put into homes and church. That huge.
Do you think that he's going to be able to do what he said he's going to do? He just came out of pandemic.
Yes.
You know, we just came out of 3-year pandemic, and there is no money.
Somebody told some tea that they was giving, you know, buying all kind of stuff. This is allegedly. I don't know if this to be fact, but I've been hearing through the grapevine and the tea bags that folk been taking the money and doing other stuff, getting married, and you know, building their homes and whatnot, and you know, going on these cruises and trips. I don't know if it's true, but that's the tea that I got served.
Before I get out here, but we had to get out of here. What did you say? They took the money.
I said allegedly. I heard through the grapevine
that they took the $60 million that they got for the building. They did not do what they. You said that pastor.
I didn't
Bishop,
say it.
Allegedly,
he did it.
You heard that Bishop Marvin Winan got married on the people's money.
I don't know nothing about that. All I can say is the
paid
tea
his
that
staff.
Somebody serving up tea out here in these streets. That you know, folks are not doing
Bishop,
right with the money. But
pastor.
see, but I gotta defend Reverend Winans because he said that things are all right. That the what you call it is tripping. That the city's tripping.
Really?
That's what I heard.
When the city comes to your churches and there you got to bring some codes up and you ain't did it yet, your next move is to be put out.
Well, let's see. I want to really follow this story, Mr. because I want to know if you know he's going to be a winner, if he's going to win, if he's going to be able to see this through. Especially we are still healing through a pandemic, and folk are not giving up the coins like they used to, especially to the church. So we shall see. Mr. E, we got upcoming shows. We got some
upcoming shows coming up. We got Mr. Got the pass on my mouth. We got Morales will be our special guest coming up real soon. That's
on our sports talk show.
On our sports talk, we're gonna be talking about women for sports players, the Mediac. Then on Cynthia Hall will be our special guest on that night. So so you might well get ready for a great show starting next week. We got March 17th coming up. We got Miss Cynthia Hall would be on our special guest. On the 15th we got the Morales. No, we don't have the Morales, but the Morales will be here on the 22nd.
Stephanie Morales will be here on the 22nd, I believe. Anyway, we'll give that
on the 25th. Stephanie will be here. Mr. Morales will be here on the 2nd, and she will be here on the 24th.
Okay, we're continuing to celebrate Women's History Month, and we will see you all real soon. Don't forget the Young Women Achieving Success Program, still recruiting. Don't forget the Royal Ladies Pie. We're going to be launching soon. Bullying is right underneath your nose. The book by Yolanda Hinton. Go up there and get it. And we also want to say thank you again to our special guests, Coach Rhonda Driver and Deb Stansel. Thank you all for all you do. You all be blessed. Annie Miles, where you been, girl? You all be blessed. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your support. See you later.
I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton. I'm Everette, the co-host. And for more information, sponsor it. Give us a call at 757-714-7861. Our inboxes at Edward Everett's inbox, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton inbox, and FYI inbox. Our emails at FYIRadioshow@gmail.com. Don't forget, if you like to be a partner, you like to be on our FYI Radio Show, just let us know. Give us a call. Give us an inbox and let us know that you would love to be on our show by sending us your email. We'll pull you in.
You all are a blessing. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
2 up.